So now let's talk about, okay, we've identified what we do need to outsource something. We've identified what it needs to be. We know about how many hours per week or per month we need to outsource that thing for because we are tracking our time. And we have documented the process and the system around that thing so that we can make it easier to onboard that person. Great. We love that. Now what the hell do we do, right? So look at the task that you need to outsource for first. Look at how long that's been taking you. You're going to add a little bit of buffer on because, obviously, at least just for the first few months, that person's going to take longer than you, right? See if there's a theme between those tasks because you might find, oh, I actually need to hire 2 people for less time, but because these tasks are so different, right? So it might be, I need to hire a social media manager, but I also need to kind of hire an admin person to help me with the client management piece, right? Those are often not going to be the same person. Stop asking them to be the same person. Stop thinking, if I see one more person posting about how they're looking for a unicorn, I'm going to scream. Why do you need to find a unicorn? Why can't you hire people who specifically work on that thing? And then you only hire them for the amount of time that thing takes. And then you can go out and hire this other person here who focuses on that thing over there. If you need a social media manager and you need a graphic designer, why does it have to be that you need someone who's excellent at social media and can create all the graphics for your business everywhere? Why do those have to be the same person? And I'll also tell you here, now, if you hire one person to cover all of your stuff in your business, right? Now, if that person leaves, if that person doesn't work out, you're in a really tough position versus, I've hired 2 people to do pretty specific things and we can cross-train them a little bit so that when that person's out over there, that person might be able to pick up a little bit of the slack so it doesn't all fall to me, right? You don't want a unicorn. You want people who can do what you need them to do, but it's all representing the same amount of hours, right? So if you, instead of looking for a unicorn and they're going to spend 5 hours a week on social media, they're going to spend 3 hours a week on helping you with client management stuff, they're going to spend 4 hours a week on graphic design, right? 5 hours plus 3 hours plus 4 hours is 17 hours, right? Instead, hire someone that specializes in social media to do the social media 5 hours a week. Hire someone who specializes in client management and admin stuff to do those 3 hours of client management stuff. Hire someone who specializes in graphic design to do that 4 hours of graphic design a week. You're still only paying for 17 hours. Wow, groundbreaking, I know. But so many people don't do this when they're first hiring, and it's insane. It's insane because guess what? That social media person, that graphic designer is going to have a higher hourly rate than that person who's just helping you with admin work. So you're actually paying a higher rate for that admin work than you need to. Groundbreaking, I know. But so many people who are just first starting to hire don't think about these things. And it's going to benefit you so much more to do these things and be super specific about what you need from them, what you need from them, what you need from them, right? You can cross-train them. It's great, right? But this is going to make such a big difference for you because the likelihood that you're finding that unicorn and they're great at all of those things at a price point that you want and they can do all the things that you need in the amount of hours you need, you're not setting yourself up for success. It's going to be hard to find that unicorn, right? And that's something that's just so important, right? That people don't think about because why would you think about it? You've never done it before. Can you tell I get a little heated around this part? I just really care because I think that people hire in a way that doesn't make sense and then have a bad experience and then they just write off ever getting support in their business when getting support in their business is really what they need, but they just haven't done it correctly, right? So the other thing is, where do I find these people? Where the hell do I find these people, right? I am a huge fan of obviously using referrals and Facebook groups. That is where I have found most of my team members. I think they're a really great source. Oftentimes, if you're in a Facebook group, you can actually post, very specifically what you're looking for, number of hours, all of those things. And you can actually say, I'm really looking for recommendations from people, right? It's a great way to at least get a warm introduction to someone, or ask around, ask for some referrals, right? From your network, from other business owners that all that good stuff. I don't typically look on Upwork and Fiverr. I like to tap into the existing network that I have with Facebook groups. I know a lot of people who use Upwork and Fiverr, and you can hire really affordable outsourcing there. What I would really look for with Upwork and Fiverr is identify, if you want to go that route, identify kind of a more specific project that someone can do for you to test them and see if it's a good fit. And then you can open it up to work with you longer term. So that's what I would really suggest doing. In terms of, okay, how do I vet them? I got 1,000 responses to my Facebook group or 1,000 responses on Upwork, right? I don't want to go through all of those. I don't have time for that, right? Get super specific about the application process, and you can actually make people weed themselves out. So what do I mean by that? Have them email a certain email address in order to apply, right? So they need to email a certain email address. They need to use a specific subject line. So right there, if someone comments on that Facebook group post, but they don't send you that email, great. You don't even have to think about them because they obviously didn't take the 2 extra seconds it took to read your post. So you don't have to deal with them, right? If they send you an email, but it's not the specific subject line, okay, great, you're good. You don't have to even pay attention to that person because they obviously can't follow directions, right? Ask in that email that they send very specific information, right? Which would be how many, and in your post, you're saying, this is what I need, and this is the amount of hours I need per week, per month, whatever, right? So ask them to send their hour availability, right? And ask them to send their rate. Some people won't submit their rate right away. I think that's fair. So that sometimes I don't use that as an automatic, done, you're out. And then typically I will also ask for either them to send some examples of work or, more information about what they do, that kind of thing. If they don't send those things, great. I don't even need to get on a call with them because they obviously can't follow instructions. Easy. That usually will whittle it down to less than 10 people, right? And then I'm only reviewing 10 people. And from there, I usually only schedule 3, 4, 5 max calls, max. I guarantee you're not hiring for anything that's rocket science. More than one of those candidates is going to be a good fit. You don't need to get on calls with all of them. It's fine. If you get on those 5 calls and you don't like any of those people, guess what? Now you can go out and schedule more calls with other people, right? I schedule the calls. On those calls, what I'm really getting a feel for is the personality, the culture fit, right? I'm super clear on how I work, how my team works, what my expectations are. I ask them if that seems okay for them. I typically ask, what's their experience? We will talk about their rates at that point. We will go over how many hours a week I need. If there's specific, I need you to be available for specific hours. Does that work? Is that okay? We'll go over all of that during the call. And I really get a feel for, okay, this person feels really good. This person, not so much. Usually you can do that on the call. It's kind of like a gut feeling. Just trust it, right? Just trust it. And then what I do is I decide on, one person that we're going to hire, and I go ahead and let them know. I go, okay, so typically that first month I'll do less than I actually need to outsource for them. So if I'm looking at 20 hours a month, I'll say, okay, great, let's do a test run for 10 hours this month. And I'll start to offboard things onto them just to do a test run to make sure, yes, it is a good culture fit, so that you're not putting all of your eggs in that basket if it doesn't end up working out. Set the expectations super clear from the get-go, right? That's always going to be a huge, huge benefit for you. And you've already systematized and set up processes around everything. So explain to them how they can train themselves and that you are available for questions after they've reviewed everything, right? Because that's going to be really key. If you have someone who's asking you questions that you've already answered in the documentation, that's a red flag, right? They need to go and look for it. The answer is there for them. And these are really the things that are going to make hiring really seamless for you, really easy for you, and not a chore, right? And I think this is something that a lot of people struggle with, don't do well with. So I hope this is really, really helpful. If you didn't catch the first video in this series, definitely go back and look at that. And I will see you next time.